Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Sass and Surrender. I am your host, Drew, or Drew Spanks on FET.
And I'm your other host, Fly, or I Fly Away on FET.
And today we are talking about GASP.
Yes, our trip to GASP. This was our second GASP.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was a lot busier than our first one.
It was a lot busier.
So,
like, not just like us busier, like busier. Like a lot more people there.
yeah, they did have a lot more people. They raised the cap, I think someone told me. This was just someone I was talking to, so I don't know if it's official. I think they had raised it from like 350 to 400 or so roughly something like that. I do know they had more people than last year.
Yeah, it seemed, or like even maybe it seemed like a lot more people just showed up. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, then, because like with any spanking party, like you can have somebody pay, but some people get really nervous, especially if it's their like first one, and they may not actually show up to the party to play. Like they chicken out kind of thing.
Yeah, I would think with gas if you're spending that much, but you can like divert your ticket for 1 year, like put
Right.
it
So that's what I
postpone it,
mean.
so-
Like they might add some people that like didn't show up and diverted the ticket and everything like that
yeah,
to next year. But it seemed like this year is like a lot more full.
yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like on all the days, there wasn't like a day that wasn't like packed full of people.
Yeah,
You know?
even Thursday. Well, we didn't stay through Monday, but I'm sure it was still there. A lot of people I talked to stayed through Monday, so
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. But we figured we'd just kind of give everybody like an overview of GASP, what we did, what we thought.
some of our experiences.
Yeah, those are experiences, what we
give
liked.
a rundown of all the awesome times we had, so
Yeah.
that you'll hopefully listen to this and want to go next year.
Yeah.
Because
I would,
we will be there again.
yeah, we'll definitely be there. I will say, like, you know, with anything, there's pros and cons. I would say with GASP, there's like a lot of pros, like
Yeah.
way more pros than cons. Like, I barely have any. I have like some slight feedback, just like barely any feedback on, you know, and
Little things.
and they're open to that. Like, that's the cool part.
Yeah,
about all
they
this.
send out a survey. We haven't been to other national parties, to be fair, but some people I've spoken to that have say that GASP is like the people's party. Like it's the most inclusive, welcoming, especially for like maybe people who aren't, you know, as well known in the scene already. Like that it's just really great for everyone who attends. Like it's such a warm and welcoming community. But
yeah, I definitely feel like that's been our experience with it there. And yeah, so I guess we'll dive in. We'll kind of talk to you about how we did things logistically for us to give you kind of like a realistic point of view.
yeah, and we'll touch on some things that, you know, we learned, and we'll talk about that a little more in our next episode too, I think, but we'll focus this on mostly kind of a rundown of what we did.
Yeah. So I like with my job, I have to put on for PTO. So last year we kind of learned that like making the drive all in one day, like
Is a lot.
yeah, like on that Thursday that GASP starts, because it runs Thursday to Monday, but there's not really anything on Monday.
No, I think it's more like through Sunday night.
Yeah. So like we decided to put in PTO to get off work on Wednesday and drive up kind of like midday, like mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
So we're coming from Florida. So the traffic can be very unpredictable.
Yeah.
So we left, I don't know, right
Wednesday around like 2 or 3. Yeah, it was 2 because I had to drive for 3 whole hours.
2. Yeah. So somehow, yeah. So I had to still kind of like work. Like I put off for some PTO.
Oh, I was on
right.
spring break. So I'm a
she's on
teacher,
spring
which
break.
I think I've mentioned if you haven't listened up until now. That's
Yeah.
what I do. So I'm very fortunate, and that GASP is on my spring break and will continue to be next year. I already got word of that. So
Yep.
that's good.
That's right. And now I'm remembering I didn't even put in PTO for Wednesday.
No. You just worked in the car.
I decided to work from the car. And
Poor choice.
Very bad choice.
Next year.
That's one of the things we learned that I will put in for the half day or whatever, because somehow things aligned and I had a training on that day to train somebody else. So I'm like on my laptop in the car, like on Teams, trying to train them on like these systems, and we're driving.
It was supposed to be like he was just going to work a little, answer phones here and there. Like I was still not excited to have to be the driver, but it was supposed to be a little more chill. And then literally the day before, his boss was like, "Oh, I need you to train someone from 2:30 to 5." And I didn't even it didn't occur to me before that I'm going to need headphones if I want to listen to music. So it was 2.5 straight hours of just driving and listening to him work, which is pretty painful, but
it was painful. It was painful. But we dropped our stuff off. We stopped kind of, I don't know, a few hours in so that I could transition back into the driving part.
Because that's daddy's job, not little girl's job.
Uh-huh.
I'm supposed to just be a passenger princess.
I was glad to finally check out from work and be on vacation. But
we made it to Atlanta on Wednesday.
Really, it was a good time to drive up there, I will say, because during the nighttime and midweek, there just really wasn't any traffic.
We really lucked out because
peaceful.
It was so late by the time we got up to Atlanta. We weren't hitting any major traffic. It was already it was 11.
Yeah, and she slept most of the time. We stopped on our way up at Buc-ee's, which is our favorite stop. And we had talked with our good friend JoJo
Shenanigans and Texas Blue, which we will get to later because we both played with them.
Yes, but we had made promises that we were going to buy spoons because apparently Buc-ee's, which was unknown to us until we started posting about it, but Buc-ee's has a really good selection of implements and spoons, specifically wooden spoons.
They have a lot of kitchen-y stuff. So
yeah,
they have these really pretty, they're rainbow colored. They're striped, kind of
yeah,
and they're pretty, and they're still pretty solid too. They're not weak, decorative.
So we each picked out one to gift to the other person, and I got JoJo some jerky, which I had no idea was her favorite thing in the world, but turns out it is. And so I got her some of that, and then we were meeting up at the hotel we did not get the GASP hotel for that night. We got one near the airport because that's where Spank Me Please was flying into, and we were going to
pick her up.
It was just easier for her to there was a shuttle from the airport directly to the hotel, and then we could meet up and spend the night there. So we had time to chill, hang out, and then go to GASP the next day.
Yeah, which really worked out perfectly because that's about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
40 minutes to the GASP hotel. So we had a really leisurely Thursday. We got to go out to lunch in Atlanta, and you got to get your Hattie B's chicken.
Oh, yeah. We went to Hattie B's chicken, and that place is by far the best chicken in the world, in my opinion. And when we were sitting there at lunch, we were just talking. We had a really good time. I mean, we got to chill the night before, even though it was kind of late. We got to bed pretty quickly, did some spankings, that kind of stuff. And then we were chilling at lunch.
Lots of sassing.
Well, all the sassing. These girls are ridiculous. Definitely a handful. Anyway, we're sitting at lunch, and I got this little Discord message, which is where GASP, if you didn't know, you can sign up for their Discord, and there's a lot of interactive stuff that you can do. I think it's with the Atlanta Spanking Society, ASS or something.
Atlanta Spanking Society.
Yeah, so you can sign up, be on their Discord, but they put out a Discord message where they said, hey, you can, if you come early, you can do an early registration.
Yeah, we're going to set up from, 1:30 to 2 or 1 to 2, something like that.
And you can check in with, the way their party works is you do have to do a COVID test and show that it's take a picture with your watch or phone to show the time. So we had already done that in the morning at the hotel with me and the girls.
Yeah, it just has to be within 24 hours of you checking.
So we had all the stuff ready, and we were just kind of chilling for lunch. So we're heck yeah, we'll check in early.
And we made it just in time. I think it was 1 to 2. They sent a message and they were hey, we're available to set up, because the next time you could check in was 5.
Yeah.
And we knew that would be mobbed.
And with all the people coming and
even the extra check-in we went to, I mean, it wasn't crazy a wait, but there was a line. It was still pretty busy. There were a lot of people that were oh yeah, I'm checking in early.
Yeah, it was very, very busy. But we got there. It was nice. The hotel let us check in early.
Yep.
So we had our room. We loaded the cart to the absolute freaking brim. We posted a picture on Fat. I mean, it was just between the 3 of our stuff, it was completely full. Like we were like the
hanging things
tires
off
were
the
flat.
top. Like it was great.
Yeah, we brought our kink trunk and like just all sorts of stuff.
Another thing we need to not. And definitely didn't need the whole trunk.
We did not need the trunk, so we didn't even like bust into it once. But whatever.
Your bag is,
live and learn.
Is enough.
Live and learn.
Clearly, the bag of the stuff we actually use is enough.
It's plenty. So anyway, yeah. So we got checked in there on Thursday, and that gave us a little bit of time to just kind of like chill in the room and just feel like we had arrived kind of prior to the party. And like,
yeah, because last year we didn't get to the hotel till like 10 because we drove up. I think it was almost 10.
No, we were there. Maybe
it was pretty late.
Maybe it was late.
Yeah, we had like maybe it was like 8 or 9. But I remember we stopped at Buc-ee's. It was last year. Like it had to be at least 7.
Oh, maybe.
And then we had another hour because I remember being like, what? Because, okay, so I had never been to Buc-ee's last year. Side note, we're swirling back to last year, but I had never been to Buc-ee's. So we're like an hour and a half away from where we need to be. And I'm like, we've been in the car all day. We've been going for like 8 hours. And he's like, we're stopping at a gas station. And I'm like, why are we stopping at this random? And of course, I didn't know how amazing Buc-ee's was. So I understood it after. But I remember it was pretty late because I was like, why are you making us get there so late to stop at a gas station? So it was much better having Thursday to just be able to settle and just already be there for sure.
Oh yeah, that was the thing I got. That's the thing that I got. Spank me please was those like nugget things.
I don't like those.
They're really good. They're like caramel, like
they're like if you took a cheese puff that wasn't a cheese puff and it was a caramel puff, it's like that. So but good. I'm just not.
So bad for a diabetic like me, but other than that. They're so good. So that was the thing I got her. So I got JoJo, the beef jerky
and you got Spank Me Please.
The nuggets. And they're so good. And we got like barbecue sandwiches. It was
I didn't get much
you didn't get
because
anything.
It was really late. It
was I got a
like 11
sandwich.
And I can't eat food that late.
They have like fresh brisket sandwiches and they're like so good. And it was like 11 or something.
They
when we
still
had them.
Yep.
Anyway, Buc-ee's. It's awesome. But back to the check-in.
So we did our check-in. And then Thursday we had plans. So Thursday they do pizza in the 8th floor suite, which we went up like 5 minutes early, which was a wise choice because it very quickly became very busy.
Was it very busy?
Yeah, very busy.
Very busy.
Very quickly.
Yeah, they had like the gluten-free and like cheese-free and like all the frees.
That's another thing they're very good about. They had gluten-free, they had vegan, I think, maybe, or dairy-free at least. Like maybe it wasn't vegan, but it was at least dairy-free, like if you have dietary restrictions and things like that. So that was pretty awesome. And then...
And they had a bunch of different kinds of pizza. I mean, they had everything. Pepperoni, sausage, veggie, cheese. I mean, they had it all. So, like, we went through the line, we got some pizza, and then just kind of hung out in the suite, and it very quickly got very packed.
Very packed?
Very packed. Very packed. It got, like, super, super packed, but we saw a lot of people, a lot of friends that we hadn't seen. I think So
that's shortly when Blue and JoJo came, so we had made plans to kind of hang out. So I met Texas Blue last year. And JoJo also met Texas Blue last year, and that's how they ended up, like, they're in a dynamic now.
At GASP.
Yeah, so Drew had been talking about playing with JoJo, and they hadn't met in person, so we decided to kind of all hang out on Thursday night. And that wasn't really, I did end up playing with them when you went, and I'll let you talk about your play with Payson in a minute. Ours was just a little hanging out kind of, to kill time. But yeah, we hung out with them for a little bit, had some pizza, got to know them. And then we had thought about going to the friendship speed dating, but we heard it was mobbed, which is good and bad. I mean, I guess it was the first time they had done that. And I think that's a really awesome idea. And I can't speak to how it was, but I did hear it was a little overcrowded for people. So I hope they can do that next year or maybe find a way to like crowd control it a little. I don't know.
But. Yeah, I did I don't remember when it was, but it was like later in the evening. We were standing in the middle of like a hallway just talking, and like I was joking. I think it was with Little Fire. I was standing there and Spank Me Please, but I was just kind of like standing in the middle of the hallway and like being in the way. And I said, see guys, this is me doing my own friendship speed dating because they're going to have to talk to me and ask me to move. and then I'll get to know them and like meet the people. Like,
Well,
as I
that
do.
worked out for me really well because that's how I ended up getting to go to Wayward.
That's true. That's true. Oh, yeah, because like...
So there's events that you can sign up for, like Principal's Office, Camp Corporal, which we both did, which we'll talk about in a minute. But there's another one called Wayward Scholars, which is similar to a Principal's Office. I didn't do the Principal's Office, but I would guess it's very similar. You basically show up with a pink slip and your infraction. And anyway, I didn't get into it this year, but I was like a little perturbed that I didn't automatically get in because last year I won Best Costume for Wayward, and we ran into the Wayward people, and Spank Me Please, who's awesome and not shy at all, was just like, hey, can you get fly-in? Like, she got shafted, like, not being able to be in it this year, and, like, she won Best Costume, so, like, can't you just, like, get her in? Can you, like, pull some strings? Because we ran into two of the tops that do Wayward, and he was like, I'm sure it's fine.
Well,
just
I think he was the, like, lead top.
No. I
he?
ran into them the next day.
Oh.
I actually ended up running into all four of them.
Oh, my God.
By the time I went to Wayward and was just like, I just want you to know I'm showing up. Just
FYI.
FYI.
I'm just going to...
I know you all. I'm using my best
Spank
costume.
me for it.
Spank me. Well, I did. Well, I'll get into that later, but that is what I did. So,
yeah. But it just goes to show you, like, step out and have conversations and make connections, and things can happen, because that's
everyone
exactly
is so awesome and welcoming at GASP too. Like, it's really true.
Because he was like, well, there's got to be a way we can get you in or whatever, and you probably, if you just show up. And so Spank was like, oh yeah, so she should just show up, and then that's all she needs to do.
I just want you to know, like, I'm gonna show up and tell them that you personally invited me. Like, just FYI. I'm dropping names that I got invited. So,
but yeah, so I did that little like friendship speed dating,
our
like,
own friendship
around.
Speed dating in the middle of the hallway.
You can make your own fun, so don't forget about that. Like, you can do that.
And then so we both went and played. I just played a little bit with Texas Blue and JoJo, and we did most of their leather stuff. It was the first night, so we went through all his straps and leather paddles, and it was mostly really chill. I'll get into our other session a little bit more. That's more, not that this wasn't fun. I don't want to say it's not worth talking about, but you had a more scheduled play session, I should say, for Thursday.
Yeah, so I had been talking to Payson on FET, just kind of going back and forth, just about like meeting up, and she had said it would be really cool to meet up at GASP, and I was like, yeah, and she was just one of the people that I reached out to and was like, hey, I would love to meet up and play and have a scene and see what it's like. And not everybody is like this. She's like this. I am definitely like this. But like I said, not everybody, that's their cup of tea to just meet someone on the first time after you've talked a little bit in messaging and playing and having a scene. So not everybody's comfortable with that. So kind of like proceed with caution on like how you like it, how they like it, or whatever. But she was very, very cool with that.
And also, like, one of the nice things about play parties and GASP is if you are up for that, like, you can do stuff like that in the suites where you're not alone. It's not so private if you're not super comfortable. So there's middle ground too where you can do that. That's cool.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, I negotiated with her, made sure I got the consent that she wanted, what she wanted, because she asked, she's like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer playing in the suites, playing in a room, playing in the dungeon, like that kind of thing? She did ask. And I said, well, my preference is always, one-on-one, like in a room, just because I can give you my full attention and not have any kind of outside interruptions, like, because people will know us and they'll come up and like they can interrupt a scene. And it's just, I don't know, I like to give the person I'm playing with a lot more of my one-on-one attention in those scenes, but only if they're comfortable with it, because I know that's like a big ask. And I get a lot of people that I'll tell them that, and they'll be like, well, why don't we meet up first and we'll talk and that kind of thing. And then if everything's comfortable, we move back to the room, which is very, like, that's kind of what we did with JoJo. Like, we wanted to talk and meet each other first, and then we're cool with like the one-on-one sessions. But everybody's different, with what they like. Payson was cool with it. We kind of talked through what she was wanting to do. She's more into like creative type like me. Like, I'm more of a creative, like role play kind of fun stuff. which is what she wanted to do. So we had set up like an age play kind of scene where she played a little bit younger. She had like a messy bed when I came in, and I was like, "Oh wow, your bed's quite a mess." Like, and I wasn't even thinking that was part of the scene. Like, I'm just like, "Oh geez, there's like socks and stuff everywhere. Like, what's it?" And she's like, "Oh, I kind of set that up like for our scene." And I was like, "Oh wow, okay." Because we
You're
had
like, this is the story of my life at home
I know,
every
it's
day.
like
I'm
just
ready for this.
the way I live. But I forgot she had also mentioned like she dealt with that even on her home life where she'll like everything will be a mess, but it was perfect setup. So what we did was I don't get to do like these role play scenes a lot. Like normally ours are like pretty realistic kind of stuff, domestic discipline, but like with her, like she's like, okay, so let's do it. And we kind of had a break in our talking. Like we had talked, was just going to be like a lighthearted kind of scene, but have that real like power exchange kind of feel to it, like daddy little girl kind of stuff. So like I came into the scene and kind of just laid into her. I was like, why is this room a mess? You're in big trouble. I told you to clean it up. Gave her a spanking. Like we did like hand spanking. Oh, and I let her pick out a couple implements. So I think it was like maybe the hairbrush, and like one, I can't remember if it was a belt. It was something else. Either way. So we did like just a little lighthearted scene, but it was like so much fun. Like she had all like the reactions you can imagine, like, in that situation, like, oh, I'm sorry. And, all the pleasantries,
fun little girl stuff.
all the fun little girl stuff. But
whining.
It was
Live
so
for
sweet.
The whining.
Yeah. Lots of whining, kicking. So she got a nice red butt afterwards, and she just had a great time. And then we got to like, after the scene, we got to chit chat a little bit just about ourselves and kind of getting to know each other. So it was like, we did like a getting to know you spanking role play. And then we did like a little bit of chatting, but it was just such a great scene. Like she was just so thankful. And I was like, so thankful to kind of kick off GASP in that way with like, just something I don't normally get to do. It's not everybody's cup of tea, like role play, because you kind of have to think on your heels and like kind of make up and make your own fun again. But for me being a creative type, like I loved it. It was great. So we had a good time, and I saw her a bunch throughout the GASP event.
Yeah,
like
she's super nice.
Once you have that connection with somebody, like it's just kind of cool. So that was me.
Yeah. So that was Thursday.
That was Thursday.
It was just pretty short. I mean, I did go hang out. I went to hang out with Blue and JoJo while you did your scene. But like I said, it was just mostly kind of relaxing and fun. And we went through all the leather stuff as kind of like a warm up for the weekend, which was really nice. Got to pace yourself with the beating, right? You're not hand spanks only, babe, for the first couple days.
Yeah.
You're like, we're not.
I was light with pacing. Like, it wasn't too
I know.
I
was your comment the night you're like, nope, straight to the good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do have to pace yourself. But then I put Fly to bed, gave her a bedtime caning, I think, right?
No, that was when you woke me up the next day. You just gave me a hand spanking.
Yeah,
it was pretty short.
Light hand spanking, some snuggles, put her to bed. Same thing with Spank Me Please. Did some light stuff, some hand spankings, put her to bed. And then I woke Fly up the next morning. So something I promised to her and Spank Me Please that I would do is I would go get them coffee in the mornings and then wake them up with spankings. So I came up and I did a caning with Fly. So
rude.
Yeah, but it was like it was light.
It was literally our heaviest cane, but okay.
Yeah, but it was like lightish.
It was light with the heaviest cane. It was fine.
It was fine. And then I did the same thing. I didn't do
No,
caning.
you did not do the same thing.
I did not do caning.
She got a nice hand spanking to wake up. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Double standard.
But so Friday was a busy day.
Yeah, Friday was a busy day. So we started that way, which is the way we always kind of start. And then I can't remember if I had breakfast or anything.
No, well, we had our podcast.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know if I got like a donut or something.
Maybe you grabbed breakfast.
They always have, the nice thing about the sweets at GASP is they always have stuff in there. Yeah. So there's always granola bars.
String cheese a lot. They have chips.
I might have string cheese something else.
They have sodas and stuff. They did switch. Last year, they did water bottles like in the suites, and this year they had water on the floor so you could fill your own water bottle, which I thought worked out really well. And I agree what Stormy Jen had told us when she was like, bring your water bottles, was that people were like basically taking like 2 sips of a water and then just leaving them there. And
I've seen that happen
so
too
much
at parties, like where it's like there's just a waste of water bottles.
Right. So they switched it to where they had ice water out on every floor and that the guests from the party were staying on and by the elevator, which I think worked out really great. But anyway, so Friday we had back-to-back podcasts.
Well, no, that reminds me. I had that morning too. I had a planning meeting for the Camp Corporal.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's where you went.
I went right from Spank Me Please up to the planning meeting. And I think I had a Diet Coke in there and then maybe a donut or something in there.
They don't care about what you had for breakfast.
Yeah, I know they don't. But the people, need to know. But anyway, so then we went right from that meeting. I came back to the room and we met up with Bratty Scientist.
Yes. And hopefully if you're listening to this, you've listened to those episodes. Right. But if not, you have some catching up to do.
Yeah. So we did a podcast with her on neurodivergence and kink. And we also
spanked her, learned her a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. You got to know her a little bit through a spanking, which is always fun.
It was short because we had to do the podcast.
Unfortunately short. Yeah. But she's a lovely gal. And we got to talk to her on the podcast and it was really good. Really, really well received in that podcast because I think a lot of people connect to it.
Yeah.
And she still said one of the most profound things that I heard her say, which is that the spanking for her helps her close all her open tabs, like an internet browser. Like
in her brain.
In her brain, it closes everything down. So I thought that was really cool and eye-opening to hear. Because I hear that from a lot of bottoms, that's what it does.
Yeah, so we had back-to-back podcast recording sessions with her and then Miss Chris.
Yeah,
so that episode was just the one before this.
Yep.
And that was also amazing. We were so grateful and honored that she was willing to take time to come on our podcast because we know she is a busy, popular lady. Mm-hmm. And she had that was Camp Corporal Day. So, like, for her to
make the time and
give us an hour on Camp Corporal Day even. So... yeah, let's talk about Camp Corporal.
Well, so worked into your GASP ticket are meals, and what they did also included in your GASP ticket is actually your meals.
Well, meals.
Some meals. So one of the things that they did this year, instead of doing like dinners every night, like they did the pizza the one night, but instead of doing dinner every night, they did lunch on that Friday. So you could go pick up like boxed lunch. So we had Spank Me Please go down and pick that up for us while we were doing the podcast recording. So we had that. It's one of the things that I would say they could maybe improve or do better on.
Go back to I feel like you get more of your money's worth with a dinner than a lunch. I will say though,
it was mid. It was mid. It wasn't a great sandwich. Like, I don't know, like.
It was definitely felt like you were not getting your money's worth as much as the year before when you got 2 dinners.
It wasn't like a Publix, it was like, I don't know. A gas station sandwich is what I thought.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as like the pizza or like something like that. Like, so I don't know. That's just an area I feel like could be improved. It's a very small critique or whatever. And I put in the survey, just I thought throwing a lunch in the middle of the day to pick up the stuff and I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard
It's hard with everything. But so we ate a quick lunch and then it was time for the Camp Corporal event.
So let's talk about Camp Corporal. So I was a camper and Drew was one of the very few honored people to get chosen as a camp disciplinarian.
Yes.
So
that was fun.
So Camp Corporal was set up. There were 3 color groups, pink, blue, and yellow. I was on the pink team. And basically they had 3 activities that we rotated. So there was arts and crafts, global warming is what it was called, and campfire event. So. And
I was in the arts and crafts. So we'll talk about that last.
Yeah, I'll talk about the other two. So I did arts and crafts second, but I'll
skip it.
I'll skip it for now. So I did global warming first, which I thought was really great. That was super fun. So there were maybe 10 tops, 8 to 10 tops, and they all had 3 implements, and they all had these little stamps, like, one to represent each implement, and you basically, like, went around and, like, you took 3 swats from an implement, and then you got the stamp for that implement. But, like, if you were a top with 3 implements, like, I can't go to your thing and then be like, okay, do all 3 right now. Like, you had to do 1 and then go see some other people and then come back and do the other. And that was really cool. I do think in this, I guess we talk about it more overall, one of the things was that they were all a little long, but I'll talk about that later when we kind of do an overview, the amount of time they dedicated to everything. So I got all the stamps. I did all the implements with all the people. I know that obviously you want to be cautious, and it's tops that don't really know bottoms, and obviously, so it was pretty clear that they had a conversation about, not going too heavy and making it all really light. I feel like it could have been a little bit more like the spanking carousel where they ask you, like, are you light, medium, heavy? And I know some people, like, were, saying that during the thing, like, you can do harder, do another one or whatever. And we were the first group in that. So I'm sure as the other groups came in, maybe it got a little more loose with that.
Yeah. I feel like that's, like, really hard for them to negotiate in the moment. Like, that'd be really hard.
It is only 3 swats though, so, like, I feel like you could at least be like, oh, do you want a little lighter, a little medium, I don't know. But
was there, like, a long line for each thing, or
no, most of them, like, just a couple people. So, like,
okay,
because there was probably almost as many tops, maybe there were, like, half as many tops as there were bottoms. So, like, you only had to usually wait for, like, a couple people. But one thing I did that there was general consensus from the group was they just kind of, like, walked us in the room, not locked, if that came out too fast, walked us into the room, and then didn't really, like, explain what was happening. Like, I knew what we were supposed to be doing because I had kind of read the thing, and you had an email that I read that had more information for the tops, but I feel like a little explanation would have probably been better. Like,
so
hey,
none of the tops, like, took charge and said what to do?
Not really, no.
Okay.
So I feel like that would have been helpful because there was just, like, a couple minutes of, like, awkward standing around where everyone's like, what do we do? Do we just go up? And then, they talked to the ones, like, they talked to you, like, right there. They were like, oh, yeah, come. And so once it got going, it was fine. But yeah, that was a super fun activity. Definitely would not, other than, maybe giving a little more clear direction or a little bit of opportunity for negotiation within, like, the scene. Well, not the scene is maybe a strong word. It's like 2 minutes, but whatever. Just giving a little more opportunity for, like, I think it's easy enough to be like, are you a lighter or heavier player in the moment? Like, a lot of people asked me that when we did the spanking carousel. So, but yeah, so it was still super fun. I got to try, like, a lot of implements I've never tried. There were a lot of really cool looking paddles and different things. One lady had a cross-shaped paddle. That was very hefty, actually. It was probably one of the things that hurt the most, even though she was going pretty light. Not that it was, like, bad for me.
What was the shambach that?
I don't know. Like, I think there was a stick thing that I think it was, but I don't know. There were a couple different things.
Like
there was, like, a
flogger
thing. No, like a slam jock is, like, a long stick thingy.
No, she called it a shambach.
Well, I think that's how it's pronounced, but I think it's
like
anyway.
A cane or something.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like, yeah. See, it's like it's that thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like a rubbery kind of baton, or maybe leather. I don't know. Yeah. I'm Googling.
You did them
this.
all, so.
Yeah, so there was something that was kind of like that. And then, yeah, some of them were cool. Like, there were some really weird shaped paddles. But yeah, then I did arts and crafts, so we'll get back to that in a minute. And then this is the only event of the thing that I really hope, like, I was 100%, 10 out of 10, sign up for Camp Corporal again. And I did put some of this stuff in the survey, but the only activity that I really think they should change and try to come up with something else is the campfire one. So what the campfire thing was
that's the thing that sounded the coolest to me, but.
Well, the problem with that, so the campfire one, and it's good you got disciplinarian and arts and crafts because there were counselors and disciplinarians in the campfire one, but it wasn't like that where you would need a disciplinarian. So I felt like they really didn't have anything to do because it was still just like a competition and there was already spanking going on. But yeah, so
you got to make your way. I don't know. I think, like, we'll talk about it in the arts and crafts.
No,
thing,
it was
like,
different. No? It was not that kind of vibe.
Oh,
like,
really?
it was just it was the same as, like, the global warming. Like, no one was bratting in the global warming. It was about getting the spanks. Like, there wasn't a need for a
You
disciplinarian.
got to
So
go around and prompt it. Be like, "Are you girls behaving?"
it was
Did they try any of that? Come
no, it
on.
was very they were more like monitors. So the campfire thing, you and your partner each spanked each other for 5 minutes, and then they, like, measured you with, like, a thermal temperature thing or a thermal imaging and then, like, a laser thermometer kinda thing, and the person who had, like, the highest heat on their butt, like, won. And I just felt like, so first of all, like, everyone took turns, but it's still, like, it's set up that you're supposed to be in there for, like, an hour. So even with everyone taking turns, it's, like, 20, 30 minutes.
Was only one spanking going on at a time?
There were a couple.
Oh, wow.
So, and then it's also, like, I feel like I'm a switch, and my friend Izzy Pants, who I did it with, she's not a switch, but she was cool enough, like, she was comfortable enough with me to switch for that. But, like, we were definitely not in our element giving spankings. So I feel like truer switches had a very good advantage. Like, the one person that, like, the team that won, like, you could very easily tell that the person was a top on a regular basis. And I just felt like some people were total bottoms and they didn't really feel comfortable. And then people did 2 rounds. It was just like, I don't know. I feel like all the activities should be geared to where if you're a bottom, you're not in a position where you have to give a spanking. And they didn't pressure anybody to, but at the same time, like, if you, like, it was just didn't work very well for, like, having a group of bottoms, in my opinion. So I would hope they would change that activity to something a little different. I would still do Camp Corporal again, even if there were no changes, because it was super fun overall. But yeah, that was the only one that was a little kind of a bummer. But arts and crafts was probably the best, because that was really the one.
Because I was there.
Because you were there. And that was the one that was most like a real camp activity. Like, in terms of being able to brat and having kind of that more role play vibe of the camp activities. So arts and crafts, we all decorated a spoon. They had very strict rules, like, you can't get up and go to other tables to borrow supplies, and, like, or you get spankings. And I'll let Drew talk about that a little bit, and then I'll give my commentary. There's just a few things that I think could have made that just a touch better, mostly for the tops that were involved.
Yeah.
Because for the rest of us, it was just a total brat fest. So
yeah, and we kind of, like, felt it out, like, as we went along, and that's why I say, like, the disciplinarians and, like, the other events might have benefited from just kind of, like, inserting themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, you'd probably have done that even if you were a top in another
100%.
thing.
Yeah, like,
you would
but
have
that's
found
just-
reasons to spank people.
That's my vibe,
Mhm.
So, like, I would have found reasons, when we met in the meetings, they're like, hey, remember, it's light spanking, just like hand spanking. Originally, we were told we were going to have a light implement.
I think that was for the global warming.
Yeah, but they had said even in arts and crafts, and I think I could have benefited from, like, just a light implement, because my hand throughout that event, the amount of spankings I was giving, because each group was probably like 20 to 30 people.
Yeah, like 20.
I would say like 20.
It was probably like 20.
But there were 4 tops in the room. 2 were disciplinarians that could spank, and 2 were not.
That's one of our biggest things that we would give as minor critique. All 4 of them totally should have and could have been able to
I know
spank.
the other 2 tops that were in our arts and crafts group, I didn't talk to them to give their permission to say their names in this podcast or whatever, but I'm sure they'd be fine with it. But those 2 I know are good. 2 good tops. They would have done great with the spanking and everything like that. But they were kind of like the ones going around and being like, this person needs a spanking. This person needs a spanking.
And I feel like that was awkward for them. I actually spoke to both of them after, and they said, like, people didn't really understand, like, who was allowed to spank and who wasn't in terms of the bottom in the scene. So, like, one of them said, like, in particular, someone he actually plays with regularly was really bratting him hardcore, and he had to kind of be like, listen, I'm not allowed to spank you in this. So, like, I'm sorry.
Down or directed at Drew or something.
Yeah, go direct it at someone else, So, like, and she said a similar thing, like, people would brat them. And I even said to him, and he didn't mind at all, but I stole a stamp from global warming. Like, they had a whole box of stamps, and I stole one, and I was stamping the tops in arts and crafts. And, like, again, he was totally cool with it. Like, it's very harmless, but I did tell him, like, in that moment when I stamped him, I forgot that he couldn't spank me. And had I remembered that, I probably wouldn't have stamped
Wouldn't have
him.
done it.
And he said, like, it's fine, you know, like, but I was like, but still, like, that's what you expect in that environment. So one of the things I said on my survey was, number one, if all 4 tops that want to be in arts and crafts that did it this year or want to do it next year, please have them. Because I felt like you guys as a group, as a whole,
We
were
had great
such a
chemistry.
great chemistry. It was such a good group. And it was just really awesome, and that they all should just be able to spank.
Yeah, because we gave clear instructions when everybody came in the room, like, you can't do this. And then we read the camp rules again on what could get you spanked. And, like, we went through it all. And, like, amongst the 4 of us, the one thing we talked about is, like, look, guys, you know, they devoted an hour and a couple hours to this event. This is the only portion of the event they can be free and bratty and, like, get spankings, and, like, it's the fun portion where it's like they can let their creative brattiness, like, flow. So, like, let's try to keep that in mind and make it the best we can for them, because there was just one spoon to decorate. So it was kind of, there wasn't a lot of activities to do other than the spanking.
Right.
And a lot of the groups picked up on that. All the tables that they were all separated at all picked up on that, like, brat gets spanked. But, like, for me, it was hard to keep up. Like, so, like, this person needs spanking, this person needs spanking, everybody needs a spanking. And so I'm just, like, hand spanking, like, all these girls also and guys, and kind of interacting. The other thing is, like, I'm a top of only girls, so I only spank women, cisgender women. And I made the decision going in that even though on my name tag it states my preference and everything like that, I was just going to do whatever. Like, it was, like,
it's not like it's
not
a really hefty scene. There's no nudity. You're just doing it
giving
on
a
their
couple
clothes.
swats, and, like,
Yeah,
guys in football smack each other's butts and
right.
stuff.
And I think that was really good of you to do. And I really think the other top was like that too. I don't know if she normally plays with everyone, so maybe it wasn't a thing for her. But I do feel like if you're in that kind of situation, you're signing up, to step out of your comfort zone.
They didn't ask me to do that. I made that decision on my own. Like, and the Camp Corporal and everything like that, they were like, it's fine, just spank to your preference, negotiate your own scenes. But for me in that moment, like, I was just like, I don't care. I'm going to just do it just to make it not
made
be
a big
so.
difference that you did that too.
Yeah.
I really think it was because, like, it would have been, you already said it was so overwhelming for you how many spankings you were given. Could you imagine if, like, everyone that was a male bottom or,
Right.
like, not a cisgender woman bottom, that you were like, oh, you have to wait for the other one, I'm not going to spank you. I feel like that just makes it awkward and unwelcoming, like, it makes people feel uncomfortable.
I felt good about the decision, and I think maybe one of our friends had asked me about it and was like, oh, I didn't know you spank males. And, like, I told her, like, later, I was just like, well, I don't normally, but I made the decision in that moment that I wanted to do that.
That you wanted to get in the role. And,
like, not a big
let
deal.
Go and loosen up,
But we negotiated our scenes. They said to ask the person if they wanted it over their pants or skirt or whatever, or on their bare bottom. For Fly, I made the decision I could do whatever I want.
Yeah, so he also, it was funny, and you said by the end other people were letting you spank them with their spoon too, but
yes.
He spanked me with the spoon I was decorating, and the other top actually, like, came over and reminded him that I was supposed to use his hand.
I was like,
and he was like, she's mine, it's fine.
Which, I mean, in the moment, maybe I probably shouldn't have done that, but like, I did negotiate scenes with some of the other people. Like, I was like, do you want me to spank you with the spoon? And, like, I would get their permission, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I feel like that could easily, like, should you guys all be carrying around big hefty paddles? No, but I feel like you guys could have had a little spoon. It was probably
lighter than my hand, to be honest.
Yeah, those little spoons for sure. They were not for spanking.
Were not anything.
Or, like, even a leather paddle, like when they had Cheeky the year before, all
just
the classroom disciplinarians had a leather paddle.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty light paddle, and it will protect your hand.
Yeah,
more.
But the key is, once again, negotiating the scenes. I mean, everything is pre-negotiated as far as, like, the attendees knowing that they're going to get, 8 to 10 light swats, that kind of thing. That's what they're signing up for. But anything beyond that, we had to negotiate on our own, which we did. There was only a few people that wanted me to
You had
pull
a
their
lot of
pants
people
down.
that you did like 20 swats, but it's still
Yeah.
just a hand spanking because you
Exactly.
and it was people like, it was me and JoJo. So like, obviously you
Yeah.
knew like we weren't going to care.
Yeah.
But yeah, he pulled us, we were writing inappropriate words, but like not actually like inappropriate, like not the words like fuck or bitch, but like the words inappropriate words on each other's arms. And Drew pulled us up to the front of the class and had everybody count, and
Yeah.
it was really fun.
That was really good.
Definitely the best event. I still think the global warming one was really awesome, but I think it would be if they had two things that were like arts and crafts, like if they could find something else like arts and crafts to where they have two that it's the cheeky, fun, bratty, campy environment, and then one that's more of like the competition kind of thing. I think it could be really awesome. And then also, so I forgot, everyone gets pulled out to go to one of the camp directors. So I was very lucky. Well, I, of course, like schmoozed bratty scientists and used my personal ins to make sure that I got to see Miss Chris. So that was super awesome. I had put in my thing that thanks, ChatGPT, for the idea that I replaced all the counselors' whistles with the like duck call whistles.
Oh my gosh.
So she gave me, that's classic me. So she gave me, I can't even remember I got spanked by so much stuff. I think it was like a strap of some kind. And she did pretty good, but it wasn't, it was short. She had a lot of people to see. So that's one of like, I'm hoping, as we get to know her better, that I'll get to like really play with her sometime because it was super fun. But yeah, that was super great and still very lighthearted. Like when I went to the dean with Cheeky last year, it was a little more like, I don't know, discipline-y vibe, where this was still a little more chill.
Which is good.
But yeah, I would, for an event that had never been done before, never been planned before, like brand new idea, 10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, same.
Even
with all the stuff
we're
we
saying
said,
things as, constructive criticism or whatever, but there's, you can never go. So the biggest thing was that the events were a little too long. Like they could have been 30 to 45 minutes instead of an hour.
Or maybe like a few more groups is another thing I could think of. Like
so
if they had a few more
if
colors.
they had like 4 groups and everything was 30 minutes and they had 4 activities, that would keep it moving a lot. And we did actually end up wrapping up early. Like when the last group was done in like half an hour, we switched groups early. I think they kind of paid attention and noticed that like the activities were dying down in that group and it was time to move. So I think we did end up finishing almost an hour early or than planned. So I assume that next year when they plan it, they'll cut the time anyway.
Yeah.
But you could never know that. Like when you're planning this, you're just kind of estimating how long do I think each activity will take.
Yeah.
So those are only like really little things, like tighten it up a little time-wise and, let poor Drew hold an implement so he doesn't have to spank with his hand.
Yeah, something like that.
I
think my favorite thing about it is how, everybody agreed to all this, agreed to the event, knew what they were getting into, and we didn't see any problems arise.
No.
Everything was great, consensual, great time.
Really fun and lighthearted.
And fun and just a good
good
time.
It was really great and it was nice. And
probably something really good too for like a beginner, somebody who's like never been involved in anything like that.
I agree.
To get to just kind of step out and step into that environment. It was very, very safe.
Yeah.
We all had a really, really good time.
Yeah, I really hope they do it again next year. I really do. I will definitely do it again.
So that was that. Friday, unfortunately, with us doing that, we missed almost all of any of the classes, any kind of educational or talking between
games for tops. We didn't
podcast
get to do.
And that we just didn't get a chance. Like I would have gone and listened because that was really good. But last year, something to remember is they do some educational classes to talk about things. But by the time we wrapped up with this, we went down to the spanking carousel. Yeah, because we wanted to go get dinner pretty shortly after the spanking carousel. So we went down to that, and that's kind of like an event where you can go around and get over a top's knee and get some spankings.
Yeah, so you get a bingo card.
Yeah.
So you have to like find tops, like a top with the same birthday month as you, a top who loves canes. Like there's just all kinds of random things like there that you can go and they'll sign off on. And if you get your whole bingo card filled out, you win like raffle tickets.
Yeah.
I didn't get my whole. I was two spots away, but
yeah,
it's okay.
it's okay. But yeah, so that was fun. I just kind of watched the girls go around and do their thing.
Yeah, last year you did it, but
I did it last year.
See, last year I think it was a lot smaller.
Yeah, it did.
I
seem
feel
a lot
like
smaller.
this year it was better because we had more
bigger.
people.
It's very claustrophobic. I'm not gonna lie.
That's true.
For me,
it is a lot, and yeah, that's true.
So I just didn't do it for that reason. Like we were crunched on time, and
yeah,
like I could have dressed up.
I did. That's also when I ran into the two other Wayward people at the so that they spanked me at the spanking carousel, and I was just like, by the way,
I'm coming.
I ran into your counterparts, and I'm showing up tomorrow. Just FYI.
Wow. Well, it shows you. I think
Listen, if you want things, make it happen.
Yeah, and in that event, like you can dress up as whatever. I think my favorite was the guy that dressed up as an inflatable corn.
Oh, I didn't.
He was corn on the cob.
Oh, I don't know how I
Spank
missed
me,
that.
please. Got spanked by him.
Nice.
I was like, you need to go get a corny spanking. You know, that's great. He was like an inflatable corn on the cob.
I went over like two people's laps that were across from each other, and I got a double spanking. That was pretty fun.
Weren't you?
Couple people.
Wasn't it Texas Blue was Harry Potter or something?
Oh, I didn't even see him.
What?
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, he totally looks like Harry
missed
Potter.
it. Well, yeah, he does.
It was great.
I totally missed. No, I didn't see him at all. I went to.
Maybe it was just a regular Harry Potter kid, but I'm pretty sure it was.
I did meet someone who spanked me who was from England. Came all the way, and I was like, do you live in America now? And he was like, no, I live in. I was like, you came all the way here for GASP?
That's wild.
It's growing. And then, after that, we got a little bit of spontaneous playtime. Well, we went and got dinner.
I didn't remember where. Was that the taco night?
Yeah, I think that was taco night.
There's a taco place.
Very good. Don't remember the name.
I don't either.
But it's very close to the GASP hotel, and it's good.
Yes, we went there.
And then we ended up having some spontaneous playtime with Spank Me Please and Rudy52, who is a good friend of hers. So it's actually, I thought this was super funny because he's a really big guy. I'm a tough player.
Tolerance is high.
So Spank Me Please had kind of been like, so one of the things that I joke about with Drew in particular is like, he has delicate hands because he's a musician, and I have a hand-destroying ass, as someone once told me, not Drew. Someone else.
I told you that several times.
Yeah. So, like, I don't get a lot of, like, long, hard hand spankings in my home life. Drew's a straight to the good stuff kind of guy.
Yeah, I would die.
He, like, warms me up with a paddle.
I got a hand blister from the Camp Corporal event.
Yeah, you did.
It's
so,
anyway.
Drew is just, like, chilling, like, slowly drumming on Spank Me Please, like, doing vibes to the music.
It was great.
Like, and I'm getting, like...
drumsticking her butt. It was great.
Yeah. And he's doing all this like nice chill vibe, and I'm getting like the hardest hand spanking on the planet. Like
because he's got like huge hands,
and like
construction
Spank Me
worker
Please
hands.
had already like set it all up that like I'm a tough player, and he's got the hardest hands in the land. So like he was really trying to like show me he does. So like they're just like chilling and vibing, and I'm getting like slammed into the like. If I was standing, I'd be knocked over. Like I was getting slammed.
Like
into
I
the
could
bed.
feel the rush of wind coming from his hand was blowing my hair back.
It was amazing though. Like that's some of it was really ouchy because then I think I said that I was making fun of your weak hands, and I said something about how you hit my inner thighs to make up for it, and then Rudy was like, yeah,
caught on.
Nice. And he hits a lot harder than you, so he bruised my thighs a little bit with just his hand, which I thought was pretty impressive.
I love that.
But on my part being impressive, I blistered his hand.
Yes.
I was so proud of that because he's a big tough guy. Like, and this was like, it's hard to explain, like we're on, but this was a hefty hand spanking. Like it was hard. Like I said, he was like hitting me. I don't know if it's as hard as he can, but it was definitely up there strength wise. Like I said, I was like getting like launched into the bed, and like we were shaking the bed while they're just like la 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 la, light drumming to the music. And I'm like, wham, wham, wham. So it was funny. And it was super awesome time, super nice guy. Highly recommend playing with him, especially if you want a solid hand spanking.
Just an overall nice guy.
He's an overall nice guy too, awesome guy to play with. But yeah, if you want yourself a good tough hand spanking, he's your man for sure.
Oh, for sure.
There was a couple times I like closed my legs because he was hurting my thigh, and then he smacked me a whole bunch of times. And it's like, are you gonna close it again? I'm like, fine.
Pretty easy to learn how you work with that regard.
The mean spots. And of course Drew's like, go for it, get her, teach her a lesson. All the things.
Oh yeah. I'm like, you can do it. Go for gold.
Do whatever, yeah. Ridiculous.
So we did that. That was really nice and chill.
Yeah, that was a good Friday.
We went and listened to the dungeon etiquette kind of thing presentation because it was a new. I bounced
out on that pretty quick because I knew I wasn't planning to spend a lot of time in there. Like if I was gonna go in there, it wouldn't be much. Like dungeons are just not my vibe.
I think we actually went back in there. I never did.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't feel like I'm gonna hang out in here. I'm gonna skip the rules, and I bounced out.
We just had so much in our schedule that like the dungeon time.
Yes, we're not knocking the dungeon in any way.
No, Rumors is a great dungeon. We just didn't have time.
Yeah, and
we're not dungeon people.
Yeah, like much. We like it. We went last year a little bit, same thing, just to kind of look around and see the vibe. But it's mostly not our scene. We're true spankos, so
But it was cool they had that because there are a lot of people that have like intertwining kinks.
And I do think it was cool that they did like that. What they said, they called it like a dungeon petting zoo, quote unquote, where they like
try it.
You could kind of like look around and see all the equipment and do it in a more like with the lights on and a more like relaxed setting to where, it's not so intimidating and you're not coming in while other people are playing. Like if you've never been in a dungeon space.
So we did that. We headed up. What did we do after that?
I don't remember.
We watched. Let's see. That was Friday night. Did you play with anyone that night?
No, I don't.
Later?
Did I? No.
I feel like you went and played with somebody after that.
No, I played with most of my play was on Saturday. Oh. What did we do?
I don't know.
Was that when we were? Maybe that wasn't when we were up. Because that was maybe. Did you play? You played with Spank Me Please, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think that was the night I played with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. So I went up. I don't know what you did during that time, though.
I think I just hung out. Because you were in the dungeon, and then that was the night that you put me to bed and I couldn't sleep, and I got up and ate cheese and crackers at like midnight.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe that's what we did. Put you to bed. I don't know. Me and Spank Me Please, we ran the bag, so she got to like feel all the things in my bag, which is always a fun thing to do. And
we played with Scarlett and Canis that night.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we did, because Saturday night we did not.
Okay.
Because I played with Dawn Saturday night.
That's what it was. Okay.
I was thinking that was Saturday. I'm mixing up days.
Yeah, so pause that. So what we did.
So you ran the bag. I took a little break.
No. We went and played with Scarlett and Canis.
That was first?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
It was at 10:30.
Yeah. So I think that's what we did. I think what we did was...
Yeah, after the dungeon stuff.
We went and played with Scarlett and
Right,
Canis.
That's right. We ended up playing with him at like 10. Yeah, and then you went to play with Spank Me Please. All right.
Yeah, okay. So back to our timeline. So we played with Scarlett and Canis, which was really fun. It was mainly me playing. Canis just, I think, really just enjoyed watching the vibes.
So Scarlett, Harlot, and Dirty Canis are mostly, I would say, not knocking Dirty Canis or anything, but Scarlett's the one we've socialized more with online and stuff like that. Both super sweet, awesome. She's the sweetest. So we played. Drew did a little spanking of both of us and
did a thigh caning.
Did a thigh caning of her, which was a really so it was funny because she was like making comments about how like I make her look like a baby with how much spanking I can take, and then they did some front thigh stuff, and I was like, I'm not even doing that tonight. Like, we are way too early in the weekend for that. And I told her, I was like, if you come down and visit us, I'll do some front thigh stuff, and you can watch me be a huge baby, because she took those front thigh stripes way better than I would.
Yeah, because I used
did like 8.
Yeah, I used the wrapped metal cane thing from Aaron.
Yeah,
with that, and I did. Yeah, I think like 8. And she was bruised the next day and tagged me. Like, it was here.
That was I was very impressed. I wish you could see what a baby I am on the front thighs, but I was not ready to do it. I just didn't want to be that sore that early. It was still only Friday. I had so much play on Saturday scheduled, so
Yeah.
But I promised her she could see them some other time. And then she topped me.
That was hot. I told I think maybe we just talked about this privately, but I said, like, if I had like a curtain and I could be back there by myself, just, relieving myself or whatever. That was a hot scene.
It was. It
was like cute and vibey and hot and sexy and like all the things.
It was great. So one thing that I was impressed with her switching, because she said she doesn't switch very often. Like she doesn't advertise it a lot because I don't want to say she's like me. She's definitely more of a switch than I am because she's way more toppy than I probably will ever be. But it's just not her thing all the time, so she doesn't like to advertise it a lot. But the switch that she switched from getting spanked next to me to spanking me and how instantly toppy she got, I just thought was so impressive. Like, I remember that. She was like, we're gonna switch, and I'm like, okay, and I bent over the bed and she was like, okay, well, you can stand up and ask me politely to lift your skirt for you. And I was like, oh, and she was just, she did a great job of just like making me feel small and like not like, so I like embarrassment, but it's a very fine line for me because I don't like being like humiliated or degraded. I just kind of like that naughty little girl vibe of embarrassment. And she did great with that. I felt like she just made me feel so small, and like she does the great "you're a naughty little girl" vibe. She said some things about like she's like, you should be proud of yourself. She's like, I won't be though. Like she's just, and she pinched me and tickled me, and she tried to I was really surprised she didn't make me. I shouldn't say this because then she'll hear it and do it next time. But she kept trying to make me say that I loved that she was tickling me, and I refused to do it. And I really thought that she was going to spank me and make me say it, but she just moved on. And then she made me count on my fingers. Like she made me hold my fingers in front of me with 10 fingers up and then like count down. She just did lots of great vibey stuff. She pinched me a lot, and then she kissed my cheeks when she was done.
It was hot.
I'm sure you enjoyed the show very much.
I enjoyed the whole thing.
Great. But yeah, so we just made so many amazing friends and connections. Like everyone that we talked to, I'm like, I can't wait to see them again. I can't wait to play with them again. But yeah, that was a super fun scene. And then
I went and played with Spank Me Please.
Yeah.
Ran the bag, which is really nice because we didn't get to really do that as thoroughly when she came down to a party of ours. So this time it was really good to get each implement and get her some good swats and like literally run through all of it. And like we took a picture. It's nice. It's on FET. But like to do all of those implements was really fun for her. And it was like a really good, middle of the spanking party scene to do because like to go through those is a little bit more of a hefty task because I've got everything from light to the heaviest.
To the worst of the worst.
To the worst of the worst. So that was really good.
Yeah, and then I couldn't sleep, so I got up and ate a bunch of snacks at like 1 a.m. So naughty.
Very naughty.
But yeah, so that was our Friday. And then Saturday was also a very busy day for me. Did you have as much play going on as I did? You must have. Did you play with Spank Me Please in the morning when I played with NYS?
I think so.
You did. Yeah. Yep. So Saturday I had 3 play dates. That was my busiest play date day. And then we had the vendor fair, so we'll talk about that too. So Saturday we started early. I had a 10 a.m. appointment with NYS. He is from New York. I think NYS stands for New York Spanker. I've always assumed that. I've known him on FET for over a decade, and I've never actually asked, but I'm pretty sure that's New York Spanker. I should ask him. Anyway, so playing with him was super great. So he is actually one of my first friends on FET. I think we've been friends for almost 15 years maybe on there. Like, he was one of the first people that I friended when I joined. Like, I told him I have this really vivid memory. And it was funny. So when we were chatting, when he was spanking me, we were kind of like talking about that. And he hadn't realized that I used to have a different FET name before my divorce. And then he was like, I didn't think we had been friends that long. And I was like, well, I used to be Sassy Pants, whatever. And he was like, oh, now I remember. So I remember like, I had these panties, like, I don't know, when I was like 24. that said caution removed before spanking, and I posted a picture of my butt in them on FET, and I was like, something about wanting a spanking, and he was like, I'm sure you can find someone in Florida who can read directions, and like that's how we became friends on FET.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, that was like before I met my ex-husband, like I was still on FET when I was married, but mostly for role playing. Like I wasn't active in the scene, and all these years later. And we finally got to meet. So he's super awesome, nice guy, great to play with, has the biggest strap on the planet, which is amazing. So it's his Louisiana prison strap. If you find him on FET, please go look at those pictures. It is like 2/3 as long as my body. So he was funny. I had run into him right before we even unpacked and stuff on Thursday, I think. And I gave him a hug, and then I posted our like luggage cart picture, and he commented, he was like, I just met you and saw how tiny you are. I know you're not pushing that thing. So it was just really funny. Like he says he really enjoys his fun size friends like me. So yeah, that was great. We did mostly leather stuff, a lot of good hand spanking warm up. It was just a really chill, like, get to know you. We didn't do anything too hefty, which is, I'm not saying you can't do that the first time you meet someone, but generally speaking, it should be pretty chill and kind of a get to know you vibe when you first meet someone. So it was nice to have someone like come full circle like that had been so long waiting to play with him. And he lived up to the expectations of being super nice and a great guy to play with. And yeah, we played for about an hour and chatted a little bit. And yeah, and then you had some time too.
Yeah, I had time with Spank Me Please. Finally got to spank her for her lying about her cigarette addiction. So that was great. We recorded a video of it. I don't think we posted it yet at the time of this. I don't know. We're going to post it. But it was just like, it was a punishment spanking because it wasn't like real.
So she doesn't have a cigarette addiction, by the way. So she convinced Drew when he mentioned that cigarettes were a hard limit that she was a heavy smoker. And like,
so for 10 minutes,
I
thought,
he's
like all these talks we'd had, like
he's never going to want to play with her. And
yeah. So I got to get her back a little bit for that. So that was fun. She kicks her leg, I found out, when she gets spanked, which is really funny. Like,
she does this cute thing where she like waves her hand. I really love that. Where
too.
She like
waves her hand and her like leg shimmers and like it's so good. Every bottom has something different they do. And like that's one of her things. And it's how you know you're really getting through to her. But that was really good. And we got some good pictures. I think that was maybe when I took the picture with all the implements because it was better lighting. But yeah, so I got to get some good pictures with her. And it was just a really good session. We still have something else I think I need to spank her for. I can't remember what it is, but I have it on the list.
I'm sure you'll remember.
On the list to do. But that was really fun.
Yeah, and then we went to the vendor fair.
Got to see our buddy Aaron from Alpine. Got to walk around to see all the vendors. What did you buy from Camp Corporal?
So I went into the vendor fair and I was like, I'm going to buy a really awesome leather strap. That's my goal. I love leather. I'm going to get a really awesome leather strap. And what did I buy? 3 paddles.
Yeah.
Because I hate myself apparently.
Wild.
So yeah, so I bought a smaller paddle from David Gemini because I've heard some good things, and he had some stuff that was on sale, so it was only $30, which was the main reason I bought it. But it's also like a smaller, lighter paddle, which I thought would be really good for me when I want to switch because it's just lightweight. It's like easy for me to hold. Like it just seemed like a good little top lady size paddle. So and it stings for sure. I smacked you with a couple times at the vendor fair. Speaking of, I still haven't tried the new stuff on you, by the way.
Yeah.
I get one swat of everything.
They know.
And I have.
If they've been listening, they know that.
Yes, but we should make it clear that you still owe me one swat of all the vendor fair stuff. Just saying. So, and then I bought
from NS Mercantile.
Yes, a sorority paddle from Delta from 1992 or 1993. Like it even says like from your mom, like their sorority mom, super vibey. And it was only $50. And so I was super impressed with that. And I was like, I'm getting this. Especially because most of the ones they had were frat paddles. And I really liked that was a sorority one. And it was women on it. So
and I got to meet Alex, the good Alex. I've watched her for forever. Like, and just her spankings and bottoming and topping, and I've always liked it. So she like sells all these things and repurposes them And that girl, Marie, I think, was the other girl that was helping her.
Yes, she does vintage brushes.
Yes. So they were both there at this table. But it was so cool to chat with them. And then, like, we helped at their table, too, didn't we? Help D. Jitty?
Don Jitty, yeah. I helped him pick out, I let him try some of their vintage brushes to pick one out. Right? Yeah.
Nice. They have, like, just really good quality stuff. Like, if you're looking for vintage stuff that's, like, not going to break on you or, whatever.
Yeah, like, they have, some of their brushes were a little pricey, but you can tell that they're, like, they're vintage ebony hairbrushes. I mean, they're not cheap. Yeah, and then I went to Kinkworks, which I was super excited about, too, because I had bought 2 paddles, my cherry paddle with the holes in it, and my Babinga wood paddle that I bought, like, right before we reconnected, I think, or, like, right when we reconnected, maybe. Anyway, so it was like, oh, no, that's not true. I bought them years ago. Just kidding. Because I remember telling him that I bought them, like, years ago off his Etsy page. So I was so excited to, like, see him in person. And I bought this huge, like, it is a spoon, but it's, like, it's a handcrafted, hand-carved, like, it is not a spoon you're going to stir soup with. It is a for spanking spoon only, for sure, kind of spoon. And it is beautifully made. It's Purple Heart wood, which I still bought. So I have a thing. I like to have different woods. So, like, that's one of the reasons why I buy so many paddles that I hate, is because I have this thing for, like, unique and pretty woods. So, like, we have cherry, we have Babinga, we have, what's the wood that we have from Aaron now? That Wenge wood, which there's a piece of Wenge in my Purple Heart spoon. It has, like, a Wenge dot he did on it, which was beautiful. So we already had a Purple Heart paddle, but it was just so well made and so pretty. Like, it was definitely worth the buy. And it's a really unique shape, too. Like, so that was super cool. And then what'd you get? Couple things from Aaron.
From Aaron, like, when I walked into the vendor fair, I picked out the things I wanted and set them aside. And I said, I'll be back. Because I got a bath brush that I've been wanting from him. Really, really nice. And I got another paddle that is made of the Wenge. It's like, looks like black. It's really, really nice. Love it. And then we also picked up a cow belt.
Yeah, that we're going to send to, it just went in the mail today. Yeah. It's going to Ireland.
To our friends that just recently got married.
Yep.
Mr. and Mrs.
Firm Embrace.
So.
Yeah, so, and cow collar belt. So Aaron, Alpine Impact, he basically takes cow collars, they're big leather cow collars, and he modifies them to be like spanking belts. And 10 out of 10, best implement we own. If you like leather, you need to get yourself a cow belt. Yes. I know 2 people that bought them per our recommendation, and I heard a lot of other people bought them at the vendor fair, and everyone just keeps saying, like, they're the best. They're the best.
I know that Hank's belts are like the bee's knees in the spanking community, but I would argue that Aaron's cow belt is much better, and just, I don't know, it feels better in the hand, and I just love it. Not knocking Hank's belts, but go with a cow belt from Alpine, because I love that. But that was the vendor fair.
Yep. And then I had Wayward after that. So Wayward. So I went, because I basically, like, invited myself to Wayward. Thanks for letting me come, if any of you are listening to this. I put that on my pink slip as, like, the reason I was getting punished. So I put something like, after being denied entrance into Wayward Scholars, I broke in and pretended to be a student for a full term. So I got 24. I got 24 wax with their big ruler. It's like a 2-foot ruler. I feel like someone told me last year, like, it's a family heirloom of his, and, like, it's very cool. Like, it's definitely a spanking ruler and not a regular ruler. So that was super fun. Wayward is pretty short, but it's definitely worth your while. So you go in, you stand in the corner while they're dealing with the person ahead of you, and then someone comes with your pink slip and lectures you about your naughty behavior, and, you get your spanking, and then they have little pokey mats you have to sit on, and I had to put my feet up. Like, hold my feet up while I was sitting on my pokey mat. But they're not like not the ones that you lay on, that a lot of people have that are like the acupressure ones. It was just one of those, like, those clear office mats that, like, have the spikes on the bottom. They like turn it upside down. So I've never sat on a acupressure one as punishment, but I imagine it's worse than the upside down plastic mat. It wasn't like that bad. So, but yeah, that was super fun. And then we split up and played with Texas Blue and JoJo.
Before we get into that, I just remembered also on, I think it was Thursday night. Yeah, it was Thursday night, I believe. I forgot I played with Stormy too.
Oh, yeah.
So it went,
That was
I played
Thursday
with
night.
Payson and I played with
That's
Stormy.
right.
That's what.
That's why.
So,
and I was just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, so that's right. So let me tell you about that session before we jump into Texas and JoJo. So yeah, so Stormy is one of the organizers of GASP.
Stormy Jen.
Yes. So she's my little sister on FET, and we annoy each other just like brothers and sisters constantly.
Very much brother-sister relationship.
Like
she'll walk
real.
by him and like shove him, and he'll walk by her and like flick her, and like they really are like brother and sister. It's hilarious.
It's all in good fun, but we definitely annoy each other, and we love to do that. But we're also there for each other whenever we need each other. You know, we have a really close relationship in that regard. And like, so that night, had a session with her. She was, you know, it's like one of the first nights at GASP, so she was kind of getting into the swing of things kind of thing. So we went with kind of a lighter session. She asked me to play because she knows I drum, but she asked me if I would do some like back kind of massage with these like little like mallets she has.
Oh, cool.
Just because her like back was hurting. I was like, yeah, I would love to take a swing at that. So we did some like light play with that and had a really good time. And then I gave her some good swats with a few of her different fun implements that I love. She has like this like thick kind of, I don't even know what to call it. She has like interesting implements that I love getting to play with because they're just like not my normal.
Yeah, she has a lot of like extra thuddy stuff.
Yeah, like extra study stuff. So I got to do that, give her a nice red bottom, take some nice little pictures with her. And it was really just a sweet time, like for us to just get to connect and have our one-on-one time.
Yeah, and it's hard. I do know, and we can get into like with how busy we ended up being. We did kind of go into it thinking that she was going to be super swamped because last year she was running around like crazy the whole time. So unfortunately, she did have a little bit more free time, but we kind of expected her not to. So we just kind of missed connecting with her a lot.
Yeah. So that's like an adjustment that we're going to make for next year.
Yeah, definitely in our planning, but we'll kind of wrap up with that and then talk about that a little bit more next episode too. So
yeah,
we'll focus on mostly the positive and the actual time at GASP. So yeah. So
then okay, fast forward back. So there was Thursday night and back to Saturday. So I went and played with JoJo. I gave her beef jerky and she loved it. And she said,
you guys made a super cute video.
We made a super cute video of her getting spanked. Got to do some role play with that. That was really fun. She gave me some Cadbury eggs, which was delicious. They were from England or somewhere where Cadburys come from.
Mm-hmm. Like it's a berry.
Yeah. But we got to play with a bunch of different implements and just I let her pick out stuff from my bag. Got to take some really, really beautiful pictures of her and her spanked butt. And we just had an overall really, really good time. The two of us is our first like kind of like one-on-one session with each other. We just, I don't know. Like there's certain people you just click with and she's just one of those people.
Yeah, I feel like her and Texas Blue and Don Jitty, who I'll talk about in a minute, they're all close friends from Texas. They play regularly. And I felt like we just really connected with that whole group a lot. But yeah, so while he was playing with JoJo, I was playing with Texas Blue.
Oh, and I gave her spoon too.
Yes.
Did I say that? Yeah.
You gave her the spoon.
I gave her spoon.
So we also did a little bit of a role play thing. We kind of like, which was funny. So you were talking about how you don't role play very much. And I actually had a conversation with Texas Blue about it. So this is something that's kind of interesting for me, I guess, and kind of opposite what you would think. So I was a theater major and I role played on FET online for many years, but I don't like to role play a ton with spankings. Like I don't mind. I guess it's more like with you. So I was explaining this to Texas Blue. Like there's something about spanking and certainly in our relationship and our dynamic that I want to be my authentic self when we are connecting because it's such a big thing. And I was saying to him, like, he was kind of like the perfect person that I decided to try a little bit more of a role play vibe with because I know him well enough to be comfortable because we played last year, but I didn't know him well enough to like feel like I couldn't just kind of do that fun thing, you know, like where it's not like with you, I feel like our scenes, I'm not saying we can never try a role play scene or anything, but I just feel like on our scenes, like it's so much about us and our dynamic and connecting on a deeper level and emotionally that like it just, And I guess we do role play in terms of like our videos and stuff, but it was just like different for me. Most of the time that I'm connecting with Drew, we haven't seen each other in a while. Like, it's just, I want it to be more true, I guess, than like a role play scene. So that was super fun. So yeah, we did it where I was getting spanked like post Wayward punishment, where he had been, like informed of all my naughty behavior and things like that. So he spanked me with a few different things. One of the things he spanked me with is, and I am going to buy one. I actually was annoyed with myself because I had already talked to him about getting one, and then I forgot about it and bought a bunch of stuff at the vendor fair. Like, spent my whole implement budget. But Chips and Salsa makes chancla paddles. So for those of you who don't know, chancla is a sandal, like what Hispanic people will spank with, and they call it a chancla. And he makes paddles that are actually, they look like a flip-flop. They got the little plastic flip-flop thing, but they are not a flip-flop. Like, they are a wooden paddle. So that was amazing. And we definitely, like, we did a little bit of the scolding and the role play vibe, but I actually got really into like floaty subspacey, that like there was a point he had me stand up and go to the corner for a second, and I like almost couldn't stand up. I was like, I need a second. So we did lose a little bit of the role play feel because I just was getting so floaty, and it was such an awesome spanking. But we did wrap up kind of bringing it back to that. He gave me some with my sorority paddle, and we got to test that out. So that was super fun.
Oh, and I forgot to say too, I let JoJo spank me with the wooden spoon. Since I always let Fly spank me once, she spanked me more than once with the wooden spoon because she is a switch, and she liked that a little bit more than I thought.
She's gonna spank you again.
She keeps saying that, and I let her try. I don't know. She's like, "How about I try this too?" And I was like, "Whatever brings you joy." And she liked getting to hear me squeal. So,
well, you're a wimpy bottle.
Yeah, because they were all new implements of hers that I had never tried. So, she worked her little magic. But now we have a new thing going where anytime I refer to her as the nickname Ma'am, she like writes down one more swat she gets to give me. So she's been keeping really good tabs of that.
Yeah, is that going to happen?
I mean, she thinks that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Huh? No,
Do you think it's going to happen?
I would do anything. She's great. Anything to bring her joy and happiness. If hearing me squeal makes her happy.
I want to watch.
Of course you do.
I don't want to spank you that much, but I'll watch someone else do it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you will. Anyway, so we had a great time with them. Then next, we got ready for their dinner, which is like,
so Saturday's the big dinner.
Their big themed dinner.
So their theme this year was Mount Olympus, and it was all like Greek themed.
Greek. What's it called? The robe thing?
Toga
party thing.
We did not do togas.
We did an anti-theme because
we were just kind of like, well, Spank Me Please and I were a little more on theme. We did have our gold skirts were kind of toga-y. We should really, I was thinking we should post a picture and just put emojis on our faces.
Yeah, we will. We'll post one of the pictures.
So they did professional pictures, which was really cool and just free. So we just got those emailed to us yesterday.
Yep.
So you could just, there wasn't a big line, but you could just go over and they did professional pictures, and you just gave them your badges, and they found your email on your registration, and they just sent all those out. So that was a really awesome thing that I think they offered. Yeah. I don't know if they did that last year and we just didn't notice, or if that was new this year.
I think they did it, and I think we took some
or maybe
pictures.
We didn't care last year.
No, we did, and I don't think they were. I don't know.
I don't remember taking pictures like that last year. I don't think they had a professional photographer.
Maybe
I think they had a backdrop, and we just took pictures on our phones.
That might be what it was.
But that was a really cool thing they offered.
Yeah, but we did black and gold, and I did a really nice top, kind of suit top to look fancy. And we had dinner. Dinner was, it was okay.
Yeah, same as last year.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was the exact same thing I made last
year. It's like a buffet dinner, and I mean, it is what it is. And you find stuff, and I just...
Their red velvet cake was the best part of the dinner. That was really good.
I didn't even have that. I probably should have.
You should have, because it was the only...
Because I went low. My blood sugar went low after that.
Yeah.
Because I overshot and thought I was gonna, have more, and it was
yeah.
So, but yeah, there was that, and then they had a little dance floor party, which that knocked me out with the cha-cha slide on that. That also probably shot my blood sugar a little bit low.
Probably.
Because I was dancing around like a fool.
Yeah.
So that was...
You do dance like a fool.
Well, as long as I'm embarrassing you, that's all that matters. But no, so he danced. I watched Scarlett and Spank Me Please also spin around on the dance floor like wild fools. I thought for sure they were going to fall, and they didn't. They've made that very clear to me several times. So that was interesting. And it was overall, I mean, it was good. It was good. I thought it was a little bit short-lived. Like, they cut the music pretty quick, and like people were still dancing and having a good time, and they cut the music. But so we had that. Then I think you went and played with some people.
Don Jitty.
Don Jitty.
So Don Jitty is also from Texas, and he's actually the only person that I didn't know that well that I like sought playing with. So I had recently seen a lot of his videos and posts with JoJo, and like I just really liked the way that he was in his videos. He seems super nice and kind as a top. Like he does a lot of like praise and saying how brave you are, and just all like he seemed super sweet and super humble, and like just someone that I knew that I'd be really safe with because he plays with people that I knew. I mean, now I know him, but at the time, you know, like he played with JoJo, and I already knew Texas Blue, and we were getting to know JoJo, and like obviously if Texas Blue is comfortable with his bottom playing with this person, then he's probably a safe person to play with. So yeah, he's really the only person that I like reached out kind of like cold call, I guess you could say, where like I just commented on one of his videos and I was like, I want to play with you. So we started chatting, and he absolutely lived up to his reputation. He is just the sweetest. Like, oh, we just had such a great, like, he was just like, thank you for playing with me, and I appreciate, you know, you putting your trust in me. And I was like, you know, I've heard such good things about you, like, you know, that's why. And he was, you know, he was just so grateful that other people would say such great things about him. He was just super kind and humble. So we did a lot of leather. He did a lot of caning. So it was really funny. I don't know what something was like. I was teasing about how you never give me warm ups or something, and how it was so nice that he gave me a warm up, and I was like, "You're so kind," and he was like, "You deserve all the kindness." And then like 2 seconds later, he's like stretching my butt nice and tight to like cane me, and I'm like, "That's not kind." But he's a hefty player too. He didn't go too hard on me. It was our first time, but there was quite a bit of caning. So, you know, I was pretty sore. I would say that was definitely, you know, we went a little more all out. And then he did try a couple of our rubber strap wax because those are a really unique implement. So he really enjoyed that. And yeah, it was really such an awesome get to know you spanking, and another person that I just really am so grateful that I got to know and want to stay in touch with, and hope we see each other again at future parties. Like, I'll definitely be playing with him again. He's just really, he's solid, very respectful, super nice. It was just really awesome.
Yeah. And I also realized another person I forgot.
Oh my God.
Like, the schedule was wild, folks.
Yeah,
we're gonna
wrap up with a little bit of lessons learned here.
Yeah. Also, the night before, at some point, I think it was the night before, I got to play with Lil Fire. Yeah. So that was really fun. She came up to our room.
Maybe that's who you played with Friday.
I don't even know. It all merges together, and without looking at a schedule, I'm just like,
yeah,
all over the place. But she was another one, you know, where she came in, I let her pick some implements, you know, hop over my knee, and we explored some things. And it was just a really, really good session. Obviously, we had met in the party and got to another one that Spank Me Please introduced me to, that made the connection, and then watched the fire grow.
The fire
On her butt. But we got I had her pick out a few implements that she wanted to try. I wanted her to try like the family strap, you know, just some things that I had told her, and we just got to have like a really good session. She really got into like, I feel like the floaty headspace, which I really love in a spanking, where I'm just like going at her, spanking her, giving her a really good spanking, and she's just like kind of like floaty and above herself kind of thing, like really in tune with what's going on. And we're really connecting, kind of like what we talked about on the Miss Chris podcast. She definitely,
where endorphins are going, and yeah,
she really got into that space. It was such a good session. I would have liked to have more time with her too, which we will, like in the future, because I had talked to her after GASP too, and we really want to hook up again, because it was just really good, a really good session. Like, she's definitely a heavier player as well,
which is more your jam. Not that you don't play with light players, but
yeah,
we're hefty players.
Yeah, and at a party setting, it is really hard because you have to be really careful, because even heavier players like Fly or Lil Fire or like whoever, you can't go all out and ruin their party experience.
Right.
So you have to be careful.
You can't be breaking your skin on Thursday.
Exactly. So like I made sure like she came in, she had a bandage on one part of her butt.
Yeah.
And so it eventually came off in the spanking. So I got her rebandaged up. And the other thing I've been doing lately with everybody is I got this massage bar that's kind of like an oil-based bar from Lush. Check out your local mall. I'm sure there's a Lush in it. They're like handmade cosmetics. So I've been using that and the lotion from Lush as well on everybody that I played with, just as like a nice little touch.
Fancy bougie products.
A fancy
That's
bougie
the Juice Spank special. You get bougie aftercare,
yeah,
guys.
talk to our customer service team. We'll let you know all the benefits. But yeah, so I got to bandage her back up and like, get her all lotioned up and rehydrated again.
Nice.
So that's okay. So that was a little fire. Yeah. Had a lot of fun. So, all right, back from Friday.
Yeah,
all the way
so
back to Saturday.
I went, and after I played with Don Jitty, I played briefly in the suites. I haven't reached out and asked if they can be talked about on our podcast. So
okay.
I got co-topped by a couple. The woman was the dean at Cheeky last year, and I had such a great vibey scene with her, and she knows Spank Me Please. So
once again,
Spank Me Please came in
through.
And did her people finagling magic, and they met me. Lit the fire. They met me in the suites, and she had asked if I wanted to just be topped with her or with both of them. They were dressed up as like awesome gladiators at the dinner, and they were still dressed up like that. And it was great. I got really floaty. Lots more caning. So much caning on Saturday night. I was on a spanking bench, and I was explaining this to someone. So like, when you're on a spanking bench, your cheeks are kind of stretched out a little more to where like that inner, like towards your butt crack skin is much more exposed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I went to bed, I was like throbbing. Like It takes a lot for me and my butt to be throbbing. So it was a lot of really hefty scenes. And yeah, so we really rounded it out Saturday with a lot of play. Sunday was a little bit more. I did have one play session with my good friend Nobody Esquire Sunday, but we were kind of already like, there was a lot going on and I was not in the best headspace. So it was a pretty lighter spanking, but shout out to him because he's just the sweetest. And I actually told him like I wasn't in the best headspace at the time. And if it was anybody else, I probably would have canceled. But I knew like outside of you to need a teddy bear shoulder. He's probably the one and only that I felt comfortable and secure in that space to be vulnerable with him. And so I was super appreciative of his care in that time. But yeah, is there any other play we're missing from you before we kind of wrap it up?
No, it's not. We went out to breakfast that morning.
I did not.
You chose to sleep in.
I was sleeping.
We went out to breakfast with Spank Me Please and a bunch of her crew.
Yeah.
Her pack.
Awesome people.
Yes.
I know we didn't mention all of them by name.
We didn't get to play with them much.
Yeah,
so, like,
we didn't. But
had some brief stuff in the suites.
Yeah.
But just very brief.
But they're all awesome groups. So if you guys are listening, we didn't shout you out specifically because we didn't have private scenes, but we still love you.
But we love you. Yeah. Yeah, we got to meet
But yeah,
really
so
cool.
We're going to talk about this a little bit more on our next episode, but we did have a lot that we kind of went through, mainly with missing the time together.
Yeah.
We overbooked it a lot.
Yeah, and we both did it kind of like each of us both did it. Like there were times where we ebbed and flowed where, we had planned time with each other and
we got caught up with friends and we're like,
oh, it's fine. Eventually we'll be able to do it. And like that eventually just like basically ended up not happening.
Right.
And so that was pretty hard. I mean, something like a good lesson for us to learn so that we can learn from it and then change our approach, next year, things like that. But we went through, it was like an extra hard drop, I think, because of it.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about this in our next episode, but we're still not going to get into it too much because a lot of that's just personal and things that we needed to work on. But yeah, it did inspire us to continue that part of it in our next episode. We're going to talk about kind of like balancing your relationships and love and dynamics. And there's a lot more to unpack with that than just this particular issue, but we will touch on that a little bit too, because that is something that is a hard thing.
parties.
watching your partner. We are both fairly comfortable with each other playing with other people. Like, I enjoy watching him spank other women. I think he enjoys watching me be spanked.
Clearly, after the
certainly by other women. I don't know about other
gosh.
men, but women sign him up for a front row seat for
that's
sure.
my porn pick for all that's what I look up. So,
But it's when you lose your time together, it does make that a lot harder. And that was something that we had to learn a lesson on with each other and work some things out. And
because we were in a different position this year with
how busy we were.
Yeah. Like last year, it was kind of just like, yeah, we get to spend all this time together and like barely do any play or whatever,
Yeah, because
with others.
we didn't know anybody.
Yep.
Really. We only knew a couple people online. We made no plans to play with anybody ahead of time.
Yep.
Like, we were pretty much just open and winging it the whole time. So we had
and we realized very quickly this year we could not do that.
Right.
Like, we were like, oh, geez, like all these people are, when do you want to do it? When do you have in your schedule?
Yeah, and we had people
I don't know.
I had people that I had chatted a little bit about playing with that I ended up having to be like, oh, I'm really sorry, but like, I don't know what happened, but I made plans with a few people and now I'm like booked solid. So
yeah, 100%.
It's very easy.
Yeah, it was the same thing with me. Like, I had one person I wanted to play with too that was like, I scheduled it and then something moved in the schedule where I couldn't play, and then there was no other time. And the same thing even with Stormy Gin. Like,
you guys were going to play a second time and that ended up getting messed up.
Got messed up. And like, so I don't know. It's
kind of a double-edged sword. Like, it's awesome to have so many awesome connections and tons of play. Like, that's what you want to do at a party. Yeah. But just remember, like, you got to balance, especially if you're going with a couple. Like, as a couple, I mean. We did actually schedule time for ourselves. And then we ended up not taking that time because of other things, which didn't seem like a big deal at the time. But when, like, Sunday hit, and we realized we barely spent time together, and then we were going back to the work week, that was hard. So that was something that we had to work through. And
we have, and we're in a much better position now.
We've come through it and we've figured things out. And I think going forward we'll balance that a lot better. But that's part of balancing love and dynamics, which we'll talk about next time.
Next week, after this ridiculously long episode.
Oh, hopefully.
Hope you guys all stuck with us this whole time, because it was a banger. Very long.
Like an hour and a half.
The daddy planner in me sitting over here is going, this is wild.
All right. Well, on that note, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah. So like we always say, go listen to all of our podcasts before this if you haven't already. We're on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. Definitely go check out those other 2 recordings from GASP with Miss Chris and Bratty Scientist. There's a lot of good meat in those. Yep,
especially if you've not heard them. Yep. Go back and listen really to all of our episodes, because they're all amazing.
Yes, and friend us on FET. Reach out to us and give us any questions or topic ideas that you guys have, because we'd like to talk about them on our podcast. And
yes, please comment on it's Sass_surrender. Go follow us, friend us, leave us questions and topic ideas.
Yes. And just like we always say in all our episodes, just make play what you want it, and make sure that there's consent on both sides.
Communication. Consent and communication.
It's the key. It's what we follow. And well, we will talk to you guys next week.
Or 2 weeks.
And then in the future.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
I have to please.